Violent crimes across South Dakota are continually being committed by repeat offenders, ones who have lengthy criminal records or are out on parole.
This issue is something the Sioux Falls Police Department is dedicated to combating. In tonight's Eye on Ketherland, Lauren Solich takes a look at what officers are doing from their level, but also finds out the impact of reoffenders on victims.
Making the decision to report a violent crime that happened to you isn't always easy.
When we talk with victims, for many victims, their motivation for following through on prosecuting or reporting the crime is to prevent this from happening to someone else.
Seeing criminals continue to reoffend can take away hope for victims.
When we see offenders continually reoffend, that impact to that victim is like, man, I did all of this. I sacrificed so much of my life and told my story and did all of the really terrible things that happen when it comes to going to court related to crimes, and then to have them do something else or plead down to a lesser charge and then go out and reoffend. It's a really difficult thing for their healing, but also a really difficult thing for them to feel like they weren't able to protect somebody else.
And if the court system seems to fail one victim, the next might not want to report at all.
There's a lot of barriers that exist just in the way that structures are built and communities are built. But then when you watch and see what happens in another case and you go, well, that person, has had multiple violent charges or multiple convictions. Why would mine be any different? Why would I go through all of this if it's just going to end up like that?
A bill that made it through this year's legislature hopes to address the issue of reoffenders by limiting parole for violent offenders, making them serve all or at least 85% of their prison sentences once convicted.
Yeah, I certainly think we would love to see there be more convictions. When you're talking about violent crimes like domestic violence, sexual assault, those are really hard crimes to prosecute. And we know that the prosecutor's office is so busy, and so extra support from the county and the city and all of those entities to support being able to prosecute people and being able to hold them accountable, I think, is the first step.
But before a suspected criminal can even get to court, they must be taken off the streets, something a new unit within the Sioux Falls Police Department is dedicated to doing. The new Violent Crime Unit was formed at the end of January as a merger between the Narcotics Crime Unit and the Street Crimes Unit.
Because there is a huge overlap of people who are involved in the drug world and people who are committing violent crimes. And that's the Violent Crimes Unit. They're really focusing on people who are using guns, doing robberies, just a lot of negative crime that's impacting people in their neighborhood.
Captain Michael Koval says in less than 2 months, the unit, made up of 8 detectives and 1 sergeant, has been able to pull numerous guns off the street and make several arrests.
They have the opportunity to focus specifically on violent crime, where a lot of other detectives have to be more well-rounded in what it is that they're doing. These guys are able to just go out there and identify violent parolees, people who have been involved in robberies, aggravated assaults, and focus all of their energy into getting them into custody.
Police are only one step in fixing the issue of reoffenders, though, which is why Koval believes Senate Bill 146 will be beneficial.
I think that the new SB 146 will be a great start to try to allow us all to partner together, us, the prosecutors, the court system, parole. We need to all work together, and we need to all be victim focused to make sure that public safety is in the forefront of everything that we're doing.
And Trent wants to remind victims that even when it may not seem like it, victims have the power.
Well, I think it's always important for victims to remember that they get to choose what's best for them. And so sometimes reporting is not what's best for them, and that's okay. And that is still perfectly fine, and that there are services that will assist in those pieces.
And it is never their fault.
It's always the responsibility back on that perpetrator, and I hope as a community we can focus on how do we hold them accountable instead of focusing on victims and what victims could have done or should have done, because we know that that's not actually what solves these issues.
With Eye on KELOLAND, I'm Lauren Solik.
Governor Kristi Noem signed Senate Bill 146 into law earlier this week.